How are you? My name is Michelle Connor. I'm your VCS for Living Environment. Today we're going to be looking at another Concord Consortium lab, an activity. So you'll notice that if you go into the independent work, remember the independent work has the green headings. The overall introduction is always purple heading. The pink heading is the objectives. The yellow is the introduction or models. Independent works are in green. Check for understanding is always in orange. And our wrap-ups are in blue. So if we start with the independent work, you'll notice there's a link to the lab. So if you go ahead and click on the lab, these accounts are free, however, you don't need them. Once this opens, you're going to direct your students to click preview. And that will open the activity. So there's an introduction for students to get some background information and answer a question. It goes over the standards as well as the procedure, which we're going to be getting more into the procedure moving forward. Before we go over the procedure, there's going to be some basic functions. So these are just the basic symbols. So you have your yellow arrows are your light rays, your red are your infrared rays, our white fluffy clouds are clouds. These are our greenhouse gases. The earth is represented in pink, as well as like the surface is technically like the green level. The bottom buttons allow you to add, you'll notice this goes up, or remove GG's greenhouse gases. You can add clouds or remove clouds. And then you have a run button. So the run button will begin. Now the speed can go up. You'll notice how much faster they go. And you can drag the speed down to slow it down. As this is running, you could add stuff as it's running or before. Add and remove, add clouds. You'll notice your temperature average is here. And then you have a running graph. If you want to pause the simulation, you could hit run again to pause it. If you want to start over, you could hit reset. So in the first set of data, you're really just looking at kind of playing around with the settings just to see what happens. So we're going to hit run. We're going to begin to notice what's happening. We're going to be adding clouds. Add more clouds. What do we notice happening? And we're going to add greenhouse gases. And what do we notice happening? That's for the first set. Again, you could pause. And that's how you could stop it. And students are going to go ahead and record their answers. So in order to take a snapshot, you're going to click take a snapshot. It's going to load it. And in order for the students to get the image onto their Google Docs, you can't simply click the copy paste button. You have to hit save. Once you hit save, then you can copy image, go into your data collection 1, where it says paste your screen, and then paste this in. So you can go ahead, you can crop the image, you can make it bigger, make it smaller so it fits in the space, and record the observations here. For the second set of data, we are looking at a new reset. A couple different things. So you're running it, you're following a single light and single infrared ray. We're looking at adding greenhouse gases 3 times. So this adds in 25 parts per million. So if we do it 3 times, you'll get to 75. And then you have 150, which we're going to look at. And what we're going to do is we're going to run it until the average temperature kind of levels off. So you'll notice you want to figure out the average temperature when there's no greenhouse gases to start, 75 parts per million, 150 parts per million, and then none again. So I'll show you the first 2. So we want no greenhouse gases right now, no clouds. We're going to hit run. Now you'll notice there's automatically a jump in temperature. So once the temperature starts to level off, which you see it starts to level off now, we're going to pause it. Now if you go on the graph itself, it's going to give you a very specific number. If you look at the temperature up here, this is going to give you more of an average. So that would be our first one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, without resetting it, we're just going to hit add greenhouse gases 1, 2, 3 times. And you'll notice a lot of greenhouse gases pop up in here, as well as the amount on the side is 75. And again, this is parts per million. And we're going to run it and see when the temperature begins to level off. So you're going to notice a change. We're going to wait for it to level a bit. Kind of see this leveling out. Now that we notice this kind of goes up and then kind of levels back out, this is going to be our average for 75. We're going to record our answers here. And again, you would add 1, 2, 3 is remove. We want to add to get to 150. So you run it at 150 and then you would remove all the greenhouse gases for your last one, which would be again at none. And then you take the snapshot and paste it into your assignment. The third data set looks at clouds. So what we're going to do is we are going to notice the change in temperature when we add 2, 4, 6, 8, or 10 clouds. So if we look at, again, we want to start with none. So we hit run. Remember, when we're looking at the single infrareds, we can slow this down so we can kind of follow them around once you start adding the clouds. And you notice we kind of start having that level off. Now we want to add our clouds. So we added 2. So 1, 2. Then we go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's how you get to all 10. You just count your clicks. So you can remove them again. And all we do, we're going to start with 2. So we found the average temperature for none. We're going to hit add clouds, 1, 2. Going to hit run. We're going to slow down so we can follow a single sun and single infrared. We can bop it up back to normal. We're going to wait for our temperature to level off. Still dropping. You see it start to level off. We're going to pause it. So again, we record our average temperature for our 2 clouds. Then we're going to click again. So 2, 3, 4. We're going to run it. And remember, we're going to wait for it to level off and then pause it again. And that's how we use our interactive for our greenhouse gases as well as our clouds.